Hello, DOXA, it's Lutzen, and this week we are continuing to talk about Stations of the Cross following the Church's Lenten study. And while the Church won't be talking about the Lenten study during service in the sermon, they'll be following the lectionary. The life groups of the Church are also talking about the Lenten studies. And so we have two passages this week, just like last week, two stations of the cross. And we're on to station 3 and station 4. So in Luke chapter 22, verses 66 to 71, we read, "When day came, the assembly of the elders of the people, both chief priests and scribes, gathered together, and they brought him before their Sanhedrin. They said, 'If you are the Messiah, tell us.' But he replied to them, 'If I tell you, you will not believe, and if I question you, you will not answer. But from now on, the Son of Man will be seated at the right hand of the power of God.' All of them asked, 'Are you then the Son of God?' He replied to them, 'You say that I am.' Then they said, 'What further testimony do we need? We have heard ourselves from his own lips.'" Now, in this passage, Jesus is telling us who he is. He is telling the Sanhedrin who he is. He says that they will not believe who he is, or that they would not answer his questions. But he knows that he will be seated at the right hand of the power of God. So who was Jesus in front of? He was in front of the Sanhedrin, which, as it says in verse 66, was an assembly of the elders of the people, chief priests and scribes. So that would be the Sadducees, the Pharisees, and the political structure in Jerusalem at this point was fairly complex because you have Caiaphas, who was the head priest and on the Sanhedrin, and then you had Pilate, who was the governor, the Roman governor, and you had Herod, a king. So there's a lot of politics involved. And Jesus does something really interesting when he acknowledges that they recognize him. All of them asked, "Are you then the Son of God?" And he replies to them, "You say that I am." And they take that to mean that he is indeed of God. He is the Messiah. You might remember that we've been talking about moments when Jesus has revealed himself to others over the past few weeks. For instance, the Transfiguration. And really, everything that Jesus does speaks to who he is. As the Son of Man, the Son of God, Savior of humanity. Now, our second passage is taken from Matthew chapter 26, verses 69 to 75. And in this passage, Peter has followed Jesus after Jesus was arrested in the Garden of Gethsemane that we talked about last week. And Peter, having denied Jesus 3 times before the rooster crows, remembers Jesus' words. Jesus having told Peter that he would deny him 3 times. Now, we won't take too much time this week, probably, in our discussion time to talk about this passage, but I hope you can find some time to talk about this passage with your families and your friends. And if there's anything you want to talk to us about, remember that we're always here for you as well to talk about anything. I hope you're all doing well, and I hope you're having a good day.